From writing songs in a little room under the kitchen of the family home in Bangor at the age of just 15, to selling out huge rock and roll venues all over the world and shifting millions of records in the process. My guest today is Gary Lightbody.
If I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me and just forget the world?
Gary, how are things at the minute, mate? How's the work?
Good, yeah, very good, thank you. Yeah, we're in the middle of making the next album and it's going really well.
Don't want to get you into any trouble, but what can you tell us about the new album? Is there anything you can reveal? What kind of themes you're exploring, where you're at with it?
It's an album about time, I guess, past, present and future. And I'm sort of looking back on the last 10 years of my life in a way, in a lot of ways. I guess some of that is probably finally coming to terms with the death of my father and, you know, like a lot of family stuff that's happened in the last while, and everything sort of seems to happen at once. You know, you have all these sort of cataclysmic events that happen at the same time. And I guess the album is kind of dealing with that. And also a lot of the old themes as well. Love, the breaking of love, and family and home and fear and joy, all the things. But
just the little things, just the little
yeah,
things.
Yeah,
in life,
I think time, past, present, future has been a big theme throughout the record, and sort of trying to figure out a way in my own life of living for now, rather than being stuck in the past or worried about the future. So that sort of keeps recurring through the lyrics.
Have you always dealt with tough times in your life through music? Is that how you make sense of cataclysmic events? You say your father dies, and is music what you turn
to?
Obviously
everybody goes through these things, so it is a sort of a collective experience as well, and you also draw on the experience of your friends and close friends and family, and try and not just sort of, it doesn't have to be a solitary experience, you know, it can be a communal experience. It can bring people together, those moments. It doesn't have to separate us and divide us. I think that's probably another theme, is the communion of grief or the communion of love. You know, they're both things that draw us together. They don't have to be so solitary, they don't have to be so devastating, if they're shared, these moments, you know.
Family's always been a key thing for you, Gary, through your work, and something like a father passing is a cataclysmic thing for somebody so connected with the importance of family. It is something that you've always kind of dealt with, is family and your feelings on family, so that's something you'll continue to do.
Yeah, I mean, I've written a lot of songs about my dad. My mum goes, "Why haven't you written any songs about me?" I think I've always had a complicated relationship with my dad. We've always disagreed on a lot of things, and we argued until well into my 30s, and I always feel this sort of great nagging guilt that I didn't wise up sooner. You know, he was conservative, shall we say, and I was a liberal, a pinko liberal nut job, as he would call me. So, you know, I think we were always kind of chalk and cheese in a way. So I think that relationship is something that I'm always going to struggle more to kind of figure out, and therefore want to write about more. So yeah.
Take us right back to the early days. Was there much music in the Lightbody house? Was there much music going on?
No, no, not at all. Not really. I think there was like 7 pieces of vinyl in the house, and 5 of those were definitely country music. I remember Merle Haggard. I remember a Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers record. I remember Mo Bandy.
Mo Bandy, brilliant.
And there might have even been a Conway Twitty in there. And there was a don't think it was the London Philharmonic Orchestra. It was a famous orchestra, does the songs of Lennon and McCartney. So it wasn't even any Beatles albums in there, but the songs of the Beatles were in the house. They were on one piece of vinyl. So I think that's probably where they became lodged in my brain before I heard them properly. And there was a Nana Muscuri record, not country obviously, and I always found it fascinating because my mum and Nana Muscuri are complete doppelgangers. They look the same. So I was like, going,
My mum's released an album.
is this your album? So those were the records I remember in the house, but I don't think there was any more than 7 or 8. So,
But that Northern Ireland thing of country music, you know, most houses in Northern Ireland would have had Jim Reeves and they would have had maybe a bit of Merle Haggard.
Yeah.
We've always been drawn a bit to the sadness of country, haven't we, the Irish?
Absolutely, you know, and I went on in my life, and probably not till my 30s, to go back to those country records and go, oh my God, they were right under my nose this whole time. My whole life, they've been sort of in front of me, and I've not fully delved into them. And yeah, there's some extraordinary music on there, but like obviously, I got to go to university already an indie and rock and metal fan, but then go and meet Tom Simpson and get into soul music and hip hop and R&B and funk and techno and you know, sort of electronica. And so I kind of went on this massive musical journey, and then sort of maybe came back to a bit of country music. But
You ever come back to Nana Muscuri, or is that's a bridge
no,
too far?
I couldn't. No, I don't know. It's no offense to Nana Muscuri. I can't imagine any of her songs. I can't remember any of them. So apologies to any Nana Muscuri fans. But yeah, it was. There wasn't a lot of music in the house.